Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Max talking at you. You know, motorcycles capture the soul. And one of the motorcycles that I've been excited about since its inception and its acquisition by Polaris is Indian Motorcycle. Taylor, thank you for coming on and talking with me about Indian.
Thanks, Max, man. Appreciate it. Nothing better than sitting around talking about motorcycles all day. So
You know that's right. Let's start at the beginning. Let's start with the Scout.
yeah,
And good reception for the Scout.
yeah,
Even though the little Scout and the bigger Scout.
Yeah.
Again, how can you argue with a Scout that's putting out 100 horsepower at the rear wheel?
hey, you can't beat it, man. I mean, we came out the Scout now about 3 years ago, and the Scout model is such an iconic model for Indian. I mean, that's what we won on the flat track races in the 40s and 50s, and to bring it back, on a totally new platform, liquid cooled motor, 100 horsepower on the full size Scout, and then offering the 60 for the at a entry point of under $9,000. I mean, we have a little bit of something for everybody. And then we just recently introduced the Scout Bobber earlier in the year, which is kind of the stripped down, kind of badass looking one.
And that's the one people like.
Yes.
And like I said, not doing bad on the flat track these days.
Doing all right, yeah,
either.
can't complain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
All right, let's move on up the line. Let's talk about the base Chief.
Yeah.
Still the entry model.
Yep.
Still the holder of the line.
Yep. I mean, the Chief was one of the first one of 3 models that we came out with in 2013. It's still a great seller. For a cruiser platform, man, you got all you need right there. It's got, the big 111 cubic inch motor, very smooth, very torquey. And I always say, these are heavy bikes, but they don't feel heavy. They're really lower center of gravity. They handle as good at slow speeds as they do at high speeds. You really got to, demo one to figure it out for yourself.
Having demoed them numerous times, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Moving on up the line, let's talk about the vintage.
Yeah, I mean, that's as classic Indian motorcycle as it gets right there, man. Leather, fringe, bags. It's one of our kind of icon series bikes for the guys that really like the traditional Indian motorcycle look. I mean, we are modernizing certain bikes and certain things like the bobber and things like that, but the vintage still harkens back to the classic days of India with the skirted fenders, the fringe. We just came out with the sky blue one this year.
Oh my goodness.
It's really polarizing. People either love it or hate it. I like it, but that's a classic model for sure.
You got to understand that's when most people think of an Indian, a big Indian, that's what they're thinking about with the leather bags and the whole 9 yards.
Exactly.
Well, let's take another step. Let's talk about the Springfield, its big brother.
Yeah.
Same thing, just with hard bags.
With hard bags, yeah. So, and I tell you, man, the Springfield is one of our best handling bikes we make. So it is its big brother, but we actually give the Springfield more of the touring style chassis with the adjustable air suspension. You can kind of put a tour pack on the back of it. But the biggest thing, we reduce that rake angle in the front end, and that thing just glides into corners, man. If you like cornering and you're maybe a little bit more of an aggressive rider, you like taking corners, the Springfield is a model you want to check out.
Wow, and all these models we're talking about come in the Dark Horse version?
So we introduced the Springfield Dark Horse this year. We, of course, had introduced the Chief Dark Horse for a couple years now, and for this year we also have the Chieftain Dark Horse, so you can actually get the fairing with the ride command system in it.
And
so.
that's where I'm going next.
Yeah.
Good old Chieftain.
Yeah.
Man, I swear, if I wasn't married, a Chieftain would be right up my alley.
Yeah, that's right, man. That's my personal favorite bike. That's my daily rider. You got the hard bags, of course, the ride command system, which is our touchscreen turn-by-turn navigation system. 7-inch screen, very customizable. That bike kind of has it all. It's got really kind of the looks. We opened up the fender to give it a little bit more modern look, honestly, this year. And you can still, throw a tour trunk on it or a backrest and go for a tour, or you can just kind of go downtown out to dinner.
Well, let's do the variations on that. We have the Chieftain Elite this year.
So the Chieftain Elite we came out with earlier in the year. That's a
Right,
2017 model, but yeah. And so what we did there is basically offer, and we did it for the Roadmaster this year, which I'm sure we'll touch on here shortly. But that was basically offer kind of a factory custom, give it a really unique paint job. I mean, that took 25 hours just to paint that bike. Very high flake and just different layers of paint. There's smarter guys that paint than I am, but it was a pretty impressive bike. And
when I saw that hand painted.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yep.
So, and then we go to the Limited. That's the Chieftain that all the naysayers that didn't like the skirted fenders, that's the one that they've been waiting for.
Yeah. There was a large market out there waiting for us to cut open that front fender. And like I said, we kind of offer something for everybody now, and people have been waiting on that Chieftain for a long time, and that has been getting rave reviews thus far. I mean, it's something as simple as opening that up, giving it a 19-inch front fender, that kind of contrast cut front wheel, and we match the rear wheel, of course, to it. I mean, that's just a bad bike right there, man. I love that bike.
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
We're going to get some shots of that one you customized over there. That is bad.
Yeah, so that one we got a ton of accessories on, you'll see. I mean, there's anything and everything from cams to the chrome luggage rack to the pipes. I mean, to the bars. You know, sky's the limit on that thing.
Okay, let's take another step. Let's go to the Roadmaster with the bags, the leather.
Yeah. So this is the Roadmaster Classic, the one we're sitting behind us right now. So this is kind of the maybe the step up from the vintage, if you will. So still in the same vein of that heritage, you know, skirted fenders, fringe leather, but just in the Roadmaster package. So.
Okay, and then we've got the Roadmaster.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the one I'm looking at. Lord.
Yeah.
You talk about a traveling motorcycle that has all the accoutrements.
Dude, it's got everything. That's the that is the luxury model of luxury models, man. Came out with the Roadmaster the second year the Indian, you know, came back in Sturgis, and for a touring motorcycle, it's got everything you need. And kind of like I said, you know, a couple of bikes back, for the biggest bike that we make, that it still feels very nimble. It's very lightweight handling because of that lower center of gravity. So you can throw a passenger on the back. You can load this thing down with luggage, adjust your suspension accordingly, and you're still not. It's still pretty easy to handle and maneuver.
It's the only bike I've ever ridden with a tour box where I never knew the tour box was there.
Exactly. It's like you don't even feel it's back there.
And then we've got the top of the line.
Yeah.
Woo, the Roadmaster Elite. Lord, you're talking about.
Yeah.
If the Roadmaster is the creme de la creme, you're taking that up a factor of 10.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the Mac Daddy. I mean, that is top of the food chain of the Indian motorcycle model. So, took the Roadmaster and just basically gave it an incredible accoutrement to the paint job. Again, that's about a 25 to 30-hour paint job. It's all hand painted at our facility in Spearfish, South Dakota.
Right.
American workers. It's assembled in Spirit Lake, Iowa, keeping the American theme. But yeah, 23 karat gold, custom, you know, two-tone blue and black, and then we give it a series of accessories like the saddlebag audio, the passenger armrests, some of the bumpers around the fenders. So that's got everything you want and more.
I'm telling you. Taylor, we just covered the whole line inside of 10 minutes. Congratulations.
Thanks, Max.
Let me tell you what, folks. You know, there's a lot of choices out there, and we're covering a lot for you today. But I know what I'm going to do with my hard-earned money, and it's going to go right here into India. Roadmaster, here I come. Guys, this is Taylor and Max. One more thing.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to look at an Indian on their website, where are they going?
Yes, so of course, IndianMotorcycle.com. We have a dealers tab. We have over 200 dealers in North America. So plug in your zip code, you'll find your closest one. You can take a demo. But IndianMotorcycle.com is where you go for all things Indian.
IndianMotorcycle.com. Now, Taylor and Max, we're
Hi, everybody. It's Wesley. We're up here in Columbus at the Expo. I've heard Max always raving about the Indian, so I had to get out and actually try one. Well, I went out and rode the Roadmaster Elite today. Let me tell you something. That is one sweet machine. It handles great. You don't really know the tour pack's on there, which I thought I would have a problem. I'm used to riding a bike without one. It handled just kind of like the bike I ride now. The video or the music is excellent. The stereo, all the controls on the handlebar are within very easy toggling with your hands. You don't have to really stretch for anything. On the back of it, there's a little switch you can toggle through the screens, and you don't even have to take your hands off of the bars. This is one sweet bike. I have to agree with Max. It's probably going to be my next bike. I love Indian, and you guys need to get out to your dealer. You need to check them. You need to demo them. These are the bikes. They're sweet. That's my review. If it sounds a lot like Max, well, hey, he sold me. You guys have a great time. Peace.